You've been sitting with that task open for 40 minutes. You haven't done a single thing. And the thought that crosses your mind, the one that always comes, is, what is wrong with me? Not why is this hard? Not what am I afraid of? Just what is wrong with me? That question is the problem. And we need to talk about why. You know the feeling. The task isn't even that difficult. Maybe it's an email, a conversation you need to have, a project you care about, and yet you scroll. You clean something random. You make another coffee you don't need. Hours pass. And afterward, the shame compounds the avoidance. You start to build a quiet story about yourself. I'm someone who can't follow through. I'm someone who wastes time. I'm just lazy. But here's what's actually happening beneath that. This isn't about energy. It's not even about motivation. What you're experiencing is psychological avoidance, a deeply wired response to perceived threat. And the threat isn't the task. The threat is what the task means to you. Before anything else, understand this. Avoidance is not a character flaw. It is a survival mechanism. Your brain learned at some point that certain kinds of effort were dangerous. Not physically dangerous, but threatening to your sense of self, your competence, your worth, your identity. Avoidance is your mind trying to protect you from something it has decided is a risk. That's not weakness. That's actually your brain doing its job, just using outdated information. The question isn't, why am I so lazy? The question is, what has my brain decided this task represents? Here's what's happening neurologically. When you approach a task that carries emotional weight, your brain doesn't just process the task, it processes the anticipated outcome of the task. And if that outcome is linked to fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discovering you're not good enough, the amygdala fires. The amygdala is your brain's threat detection system. It cannot distinguish between a lion and a difficult conversation. Both register as danger. When that signal fires, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, focus, and follow-through, goes partially offline. Think of it this way. Imagine your brain is an operating system. Avoidance tasks are like corrupted files. Every time you try to open them, the system crashes slightly. Not because the file is too large, but because somewhere in the code there's a conflict. A message that says, this file is associated with pain. The mental model to hold on to is this. Laziness is a surface behavior. Avoidance is a protection strategy. And you cannot fix a protection strategy by pushing harder. You fix it by understanding what it's protecting. Step 1. Name the hidden threat. Before you start the task, ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen if I do this and it goes badly? Write the answer down, not to solve it, just to name it. This works because of a process called affect labeling. The act of naming an emotion reduces its intensity in the amygdala by approximately 50%. According to research by Matthew Lieberman at UCLA, words create distance. Distance creates choice. You've been avoiding writing that first video script. The hidden fear is, what if I make it and people see that I'm not as good as they expected? Name it. Don't argue with it. Just say it out loud. Step 2. Shrink the task until resistance disappears. Not get started. Not just do 5 minutes. Shrink it until your brain genuinely doesn't feel threatened. If the task is writing a script, the shrunken version might be, write one sentence that describes what the video is about. That's it. This works because avoidance is regulated by perceived cost, not actual difficulty. Your brain is running a threat assessment. A smaller action produces a lower threat signal. Once you begin, the prefrontal cortex re-engages, and momentum becomes available. The first step doesn't have to be good. It has to be small enough to feel safe. Step 3. Separate performance from identity. This is the one most people skip. When you avoid something, you're usually protecting an identity. If I try and fail, it means something about who I am. Cognitive behavioral psychology calls this self-worth contingency, attaching your value as a person to the outcome of a task. The rewire is this. Do the task as an experiment, not as a verdict. I'm going to see what happens. Is neurologically safer than I'm going to find out if I'm good enough. Instead of telling yourself, I need to record this video, try this instead. I'm going to record one draft and see what I notice. The word experiment changes what your brain is protecting against. Step 4. Build a completion ritual. After you finish, even a small version, mark it. Close the laptop deliberately. Say something to yourself. Write one line in a notebook. This trains the brain's reward circuit, specifically the dopamine pathways, to associate completion with relief rather than dread. Over time, your brain stops flagging the task as a threat. It starts flagging it as something that ends well. That is how you change a pattern, not by willpower, but by rewriting the association. Here's the model to keep. Every avoidance behavior is a message. It is your mind saying, I believe this matters, and I'm afraid of what it might cost me. That's not failure. That's actually evidence that you care. The people who feel no resistance are usually the people who have nothing at stake. Your avoidance is a signal of meaning. The work is not to override it. The work is to understand it, name it, and take one honest step through it. You were never lazy. You were protecting something, and now that you know what it is, you don't have to keep protecting it the same way. The task is still there. The fear might still be there. But you know something now that you didn't know 40 minutes ago, and that changes what the next step actually is.